Greetings and welcome to Sanctuary. In today's video, we will be discussing what must be the first thing you should do after you choose your character, customize it and start the game. This has nothing to do with killing monsters, bosses, completing quests or going to specific locations, but has everything to do with understanding a key game mechanic that will completely change your perspective of the game. In order to understand that mechanic though, you should make sure that you are seeing the correct information. So the first thing you need to do after you start the game is to go to the game menu, then to options and finally to gameplay. Once you are there, make sure to activate the option Advanced Tooltip Information. This will show you two extremely important things. First, the lucky hit chance every skill has, which I covered in a previous video. And second, it will display information whether the bonus you get to a specific stat is additive, which is marked with a plus symbol, or multiplicative, which is marked with an X symbol. You can currently see on the screen how differently the skill looks if this option hasn't been enabled. You lose tons of useful information. In addition, it is getting even more complicated as some aspects have both additive and multiplicative bonuses. Without seeing that information, there is no way to distinguish between them. So what is the difference between them? Let's find out. We all know that a skill does certain percentage of the damage of your weapon. So in order to make the example easier to understand, let's assume that our weapon does 100 damage and our skill does 80% damage. So in other words, the base damage of our skill is 80. From here on, we can start making our calculations and comparing our results. So let's assume that we find two rings that boost our skill damage by 50% each. Both bonuses are additive. We can easily calculate the damage we'll be doing after we equip the rings. We multiply 80 by the combined percent bonuses, which is 100%, so in other words, we get 160 damage. Now let's assume that we find two extra items that give us another 50% skill damage bonus each. Again, both boosts are additive. So our total percentage boost will increase to 200%, and the total damage we will be dealing with 4 pieces that give 50% skill damage increase each will be 240. That is quite impressive, alright? However, what will happen if those bonuses were actually multiplicative? Let's find out. So now we have the same 4 items with the same properties with only one difference. The bonuses are now multiplicative. The main difference here is that we don't combine the percentage boost, but we multiply by them. And after we do the math, in our current scenario, we will be dealing roughly 405 damage. So in a way, now our skill deals more damage, 405 compared to 240. And as you can imagine, the higher base damage gets, the bigger difference will become. And finally, how those two work together. Let's bring back the example to the point where we have 4 pieces that together give 200% additive skill damage boost, or in other words, each gives 50. What will happen if we find another piece that gives 100% additive skill damage boost? The damage of the skill will be increased from 240 to 320. However, what if this item gives 100% multiplicative boost? The damage will be increased from 240 to 480, which is much more and illustrates even better the main difference between the two boosts. Now I hope you understand how important it is to be able to distinguish between the two, especially late game when the numbers and the bonuses are getting bigger and bigger. So if I have to summarize the video, knowing the difference between additive and multiplicative is extremely important in Diablo 4. Even if you don't want to use spreadsheets or use complicated formulas or you dive deeper, whatever, all you need to do is to know that they exist and to know where to find information about them. As usual, if you like the content, feel free to subscribe to the channel as more videos will follow. See you in Sanctuary.
Perfect.